Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Fear grips the medical profession as federal government insists on continuing its verification exercise for resident doctors. Maiduguri, Borno state capital, under threat as Boko Haram overrun Bama town. APC leadership urges President Goodluck Jonathan to hand over alleged sponsors of Boko Haram to the International Criminal Court, ICC. And an Islamic State video shows the beheading of United States journalist Stephen Sotloff by Syrian militants. All our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. And now to this disturbing news of a certain British envoy who slumped at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport and died shortly after. An eyewitness said the man, believed to be a high-ranking member of the British government represented in Nigeria, had arrived at the airport this evening on a United Airlines flight from the United States and slumped shortly after. Passengers and those at the airport are said to have deserted him, fearing it to be a case of the Ebola virus disease. He was then attended to by members of the airport health services. However, preliminary reports reveal he died of a heart attack. His body is now said to be in the custody of airport officials. The British High Commission in Nigeria is yet to comment on the report. Bama town in Borno state is now under the control of Boko Haram insurgents, and this is happening less than 24 hours after the military authorities claim they have repelled attacks by the group. Bama is a border town with Cameroon and 78 kilometers east of Maiduguri, the state capital, and one of the commercial towns of the state bordering Goza, which has since been under the control of the insurgents. Residents, including women and children, were today seen in their numbers trooping to Maiduguri, the state capital, for safety, as the insurgents have remobilized and stormed the town in the early hours of today. Eyewitnesses say after the initial military intervention to repel the attack, the sect members later regrouped and launched a successful attack on the town, which is presently under their control. The source told Channels Television that there have been casualties on both sides during the last attack, which has forced residents to flee. Meanwhile, the Borno state government has denied the full takeover of Bama, one of the most important cities. The insurgents were said to have launched a full-scale attack on the region on Monday, making residents in the area seek refuge in safer neighboring towns. The military, in response, are said to have launched more rapid airstrikes on the insurgents, and bombardment is said to have extended late into Tuesday evening. The Borno state government, however, says Bama has not fallen into the hands of terrorists and is not fully captured. The state government assured that the military is currently battling to contain the terrorists and the attacks are being repelled. The latest onslaught on Bama by the Boko Haram sect is seen as another move to add the town to its earlier conquest of Goza town, where the sect is said to have hoisted its flag and declared it as part of an Islamic caliphate. The All Progressive Congress, APC, is asking the President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, to arrest and hand over those alleged to be sponsors of Boko Haram insurgency to the International Criminal Court for trial. The national chairman of the APC, Chief John Oyegun, told journalists in Abuja today that a former governor and a retired army general are said to be among those fingered as sponsors of Boko Haram. He challenged the federal government to act fast by bringing the people to justice.
The man who exposed these Boko Haram sponsors is a Jonathan-appointed and paid negotiator. So he definitely has no axe to grind. He was certainly not speaking on behalf of the APC because we didn't know he existed until, out of frustration, he finally decided to speak up. Now that the cat has been let out of the bag and the real sponsors of Boko Haram have been exposed, we hope President Jonathan will summon the courage today to do what is right. Hand over the identified Boko Haram sponsors to the International Criminal Court for investigation and prosecution. There's no doubt that Boko Haram has committed crimes against humanity in a scorched-earth campaign against unarmed citizens. And the most appropriate body to investigate and try the sex sponsors is the ICC.
Well, the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Bola Tinubu, has given reasons why the party opted for Chief John Oyegun as the national chairman rather than Chief Tom Ikimi. In a statement dated August 31st but released today in Lagos, Mr. Tinubu dismissed Chief Ikimi as an unreliable man lacking in principles who could have betrayed the APC. He described Ikimi's lengthy letter as a bag of falsehood, cheap blackmail and unnecessary abuse. According to him, quote, "My philosophy is to put the best foot forward, men and women of competence and integrity, and Chief Tom Ikimi does not meet this set standard," end of quote. He also accused Chief Ikimi of acting out a PDP script and asked Nigerians to ignore him, saying the PDP has nothing to offer Nigerians. To health now, 639 midwives are set to begin a one-year community service through the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program, SURE-P, Maternal and Child Health. According to the project director, Dr. Ugo Koli, this is because of the dire need to reduce the deaths of pregnant women and newborn babies in rural areas. The Maternal and Child Health Project is just one of many SURE-P programs.
These are midwives who have gone through a 3-year training in the northwest and northeastern states of the country. However, before they can be fully certified, they will have to offer a 1-year community service to rural areas through the SURE-P Maternal and Child Health Project. As a matter of principle, they're expected to serve in the areas where they have been trained, which in this case includes security-challenged states.
There are people still living there and working. So we have officers, state focal persons that are living in those areas and residing and so are looking after these midwives. These midwives have also graduated from those same security challenged areas. So they've been in school there for the last 3 years. So going there to work for another 1 year will not change much, but we will ensure that their security is protected by working directly with the state government and our own people who are on ground in those states.
In your state, the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program intervention is in the form of a subsidy series. The common opinion at the workshop is that the development of Nigeria is everyone's responsibility.
The progress or otherwise of Nigeria affects every Nigerian. It is our civil and collective responsibility to uphold the unity and peace in Nigeria.
Now, after demand has now relied on him, one day demand travel.
There are thousands of religious centers across the nation where the sermons center on godliness, honesty, transparency, and other moral teachings. However, despite all these teachings and sermons, immorality and property still pervade the length and breadth of our nation. The reason for this is the difference between what is private and speech and what the political and religious leaders and public officials practice. Even at home, children now learn from what their parents do than what they tell them to do.
The SURE-P Maternal and Child Health Project and empowerment workshops like this are some of the channels through which the federal government reinvests its share of petroleum product savings to stimulate the economy.
The Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, is optimistic that 10 out of the 15 model schools being constructed by his administration will be ready for use at the beginning of the next secondary school session in October. The governor, who spoke to our correspondent, Henry Ogunjimi, in Abeokuta, the state capital, said the opening of the schools will drastically reduce the infrastructure deficit in the state's education sector.
Out to construct 28 of these new model schools across Ogun State, the Amosun administration currently has 15 under construction. 10 out of these number are near commissioning. Designed to cater to 1,000 students each, the school, when fully furnished, has standard classrooms, 4 science laboratories, workshops, libraries, staff rooms, and 2 hostel blocks. All of these, the special advisor to the governor on education, Dr. Tunja Bimbola, says are for a purpose.
One of the things that we wanted to do was to give our children a very welcoming learning environment, but conducive to learning. Secondly, we felt that we needed to put a marker down that whoever in future wants to review and transform education, whoever wants to do that cannot step below what we're doing. They've got to go above it. But I can assure you that by end of September, this school is ready to go.
What is more disturbing for Governor Amosun is the growing number of children out of school because of lack of infrastructure.
When we came in, we realized that there was this deficit, huge deficit of infrastructures, classrooms, teaching equipment, teaching aids, and our missionaries, which truly they've contributed tremendously to education sector in Ogun State. Somehow they want their schools back. And we realized that that decision of giving back the school, quote and unquote, to the missionaries is depriving about 21,000 of our young ones access to education. And we believe that it is not right. We are having an army of people tomorrow that will come to hunt us if they are not given the opportunity to be educated.
For the records, Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, Ikene, Ishara, Agoiwoye, Obafemi Owode, Abeokuta, Onijangan, Ewekoro, Akiale Village, Ifo, Adodo, and Ikokia are some of the locations where these schools are currently being constructed. Henry Ogunjimi, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, private sector leaders express concerns over fluctuating power supply in the country, urge federal government to tackle insecurity. That's on Business News. Please join us again.